I just got this car. It only has 700 miles. It just completely stopped working for 30 minutes.
I go to reverse. Warning, 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 shift to park because there's a pole in front of me because they parked as close to the pole as possible. Look what it does when I go to put it in reverse. It automatically parks itself.
With brand new cars comes a whole new level of reliability, trust, and quality. Said no one ever. Actually, new cars feel like they're more cheaply built than old cars, and all the bizarre new features and technology that are packed into them means there's a million more things that can break. And break they do. I want to look at people struggling with their brand new top-of-the-line cars, and I also want to hear about your experience with new cars, and if you've had good ones or bad ones.
Well, my car just died. I took my dog to the vet, so thank God I don't have my kids with me. Got back in the car, about to leave, and my car will not turn on. I have a 2023 Hyundai Palisade calligraphy that only has 26,000 miles on it, and it literally is not turning on. It's giving me the sign ESC, which I guess is like an electronic issue. We have to take it to the dealership now, so we have to have it towed. My dad's on his way to come pick me up because my husband's with my kids, and he only has one car seat in his car, so he can't come and get me while watching both the kids. It's just such a mess. This should not be happening with a 2.5-year-old car. I've had BMWs, my husband's had 2 Range Rovers, like nothing's ever happened. I've never had my car die on me like this. So I guess just survivor's bias that I was like, oh, it'll be fine. It's not fine.
That's such a mess to get stuck in, but also there's no world in which a car that's only 2.5 years old should be breaking down like that. It is a Hyundai or Hyundai, however it's pronounced, which I have heard a lot of bad things about. They're cheap, not particularly well built. You can fix them easily, but you have to fix them more often. But this story she's telling that my new car is breaking down or my new car was poorly built and like the features are going out or like this thing's happening or that thing's happening or there's like complicated stuff and safety features that you have to finagle or get around. It's like really common with people who have purchased new cars.
Honestly, it's pretty sad. The only way I can get someone to listen to me, like a big corporation, is through a TikTok video. I don't even know if this is gonna work, but I hope it does. Company that's made me angry today. But this one is Subaru of America. You guys might remember I had to bring my car in because it just like shifts out of drive. It says it's in drive, but it's not. It's in neutral. I literally go from taking off and all of a sudden I'm trying to get to 50 miles an hour and then it's just like, nope, not gonna go anymore. So I could eventually just be in a huge car accident because I cannot accelerate anymore and I have to put it into manual, then back into drive to get it to accelerate. And then it happened when I was just going like a solid 30 miles an hour, just stopped accelerating, had to put it into manual into drive to get it to accelerate. I didn't bring in...
I feel like this is a particularly dangerous situation to be in because you know that while driving down the highway at any moment, your car could just flip out of gear and like send you careening off the side of the road. It's not worth your life to be part of a class action lawsuit. She also said that it's been impossible to get a hold of anyone and the only way she can do it is through a hopefully viral TikTok video, which actually didn't end up happening, unfortunately. But this is also a pattern that we see. Like once the car manufacturer has given you the car and they've got your money, like why would they do anything at that point? Unless they are legally obligated to do something, and we'll look at some laws here in a few minutes, they've already got the money. They don't care anymore. They made a profit. They're going to move on to the next sucker that's buying a brand new car.
I go in here, Subaru America comments, call us. So I call them and I'm like, okay. And then they make a case and they do absolutely nothing. All they do is they tell me they call the shop and the shop says, oh, we can't replicate it. And she's like, we can't replicate it. I'm like, lady, this is a safety issue. I could be trying to get up to 50 because that's what happens. And then I don't. And then I go into fight or flight and then I am in neutral and someone rear ends me and damages the car and my family. But they couldn't replicate it. So they're like, come get it. And I'm like, whatever. And they kept it for a week and they drove it 5 miles. They said 15, but it was 5. And I'm like, whatever, I'll take it. And next time I get it, I'll just record what happens. And the guy at Subaru was like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm like, that's not a freaking great idea. I'll be driving. You want me to get my phone out, record that I'm hitting the gas, it's in drive, and it's not going up in speed. Okay, thanks.
Please do not use your phone while you drive. But this harkens back to what I just said. They've already got your money. So there's no longer any incentive for them to provide good customer service. Presumably, if you buy a car, then it's going to be like 5 to 10 years before you buy another one. So they've made the only kind of money that they are going to make in a short period off of you. So why would they bother doing something that doesn't make them money when they can use their time doing other stuff that might make them more money? Like, I don't know, repairing other cars or trying to sell to other people.
Okay, you can't shut the door, which means you can't put it in gear because it's a new car. Ah, the wonders of modern engineering. So now I have to push it so she can shut the door and get it started. All right, is it in neutral?
Yeah, it's coming back at you. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm gonna push it.
Okay, I'm off the brake.
Well, this thing's heavy. It's not going.
Well, maybe it won't even let it go in neutral then. Well,
All right, let's try this again.
oh wait, it's giving me a message up here.
What in the heck?
Hold on, it's giving
giving me a message. It put it back in park and it's doing something here.
That's stupid. One more time. Jesus, car's heavy. Shut it. Shut the door. Oh.
I'm not opposed to technology. I think it's cool. I love when new technology comes out that does amazing things. I don't know if cars are the place where we need to be adding all of this technology. Thanks to this new safety feature, they almost had to call a tow truck to get their car out of a position where it looked like they couldn't close the door because she had driven too close to this object right here, but they couldn't drive away from the object because the door couldn't be closed. They were soft locked in their own car. That's crazy. They could have had to get a tow truck or a friend to come push them out of the way. It only turned out to be okay because he was strong enough to push the car while it was in neutral. I'm not even opposed to like good safety features in cars, but the fact that they come with safety features that you just cannot change by yourself is kind of absurd. I own the car. I should be able to do what I want with this car. And if I want to turn off a safety feature that's literally preventing me from being able to use it and blocking lanes in a bank's drive-thru, then I should be able to do that. POV, my new Jeep breaks down. No, I would cry. Have you had it less than 30 days? Yep, take it back. Absolutely. A lot of people in the comments are pretty sympathetic about this, which makes sense. If your brand new Jeep breaks down, that it's not really your fault. But Jeep personally has had so many issues with their cars. They break down constantly. They're expensive to repair. They're just unreliable in general. They have so many electrical issues. And also recently, if you remember, Jeep pushed an update so that over the web, they would send advertisements to your car. So you would be in park and then an advertisement would pop up on your infotainment system, the touchscreen dashboard in your car. Jeep owners have reported seeing pop-up advertisements on their dashboard infotainment screens, often related to extended warranty offers. These ads, which appear when the vehicle stops, can be intrusive and reappear even before being dismissed. While Stellantis, Jeep's parent company, claims the frequency was due to a temporary software glitch, yeah, sure it was, the issue has sparked debate about the place of advertisements in vehicles. Let me end this debate right here. There should not now or ever be advertisements inside the vehicle. I do not want to be advertised to by a car that I own while I'm driving. They said it was a software glitch, but only after there had been a huge amount of backlash online. They were definitely soft launching this to see if they could get away with it, and people were upset. Don't waste your money on new Jeeps.
So update on my brand new car that has left me broken down multiple times, even though I've only owned it 2 months now. This is back at the Mazda dealership getting work done again for the second time in like a week and a half. I did just realize something really interesting yesterday. When I first got my car, it had 100 miles on it, which was really weird for a brand new car. It was my third brand new car in a row I've bought, and none of them have ever had that much. But when I asked why, they told me because it's been test driven a lot for some reason. It was used for a lot of test drives, they said. But what I find crazy, and that I just realized yesterday, is that when I got my car, I didn't have any plastic to peel off. You know, when you get a brand new car, you like peel off the plastic off the screen and like where the window thing is and all that. This was my first brand new car that didn't have that. So it makes me kind of feel like maybe somebody had the car before me and returned it. I don't know.
They could have had the car and then returned it because they were having the issues. The dealership couldn't find the issues, so they were like, oh, just sell it as a new car and we won't tell anyone. But again, this is another trap of buying brand new cars from dealerships. One, they depreciate like crazy. I mean, it's in the first 6 months it loses 50 or 60% of its value. That's kind of an unbelievable amount. You could buy a 6-month-old car for basically half of what a brand new one costs. And at 6 months, it's basically the same thing as a brand new one. It just doesn't make sense to me to drop like $40,000 or $50,000 on a brand new car when you can get a perfectly reliable one that's maybe 5 years old for half or less than half of that.
Service also mentioned to me when I took my car another day that it was in there in September, which I bought the car at the end of November. So if it was there in September, I was not the one that took it there. That happened before I bought the car. Made it clear I don't want the car at all anymore. I bought this car. I spent the extra money on a nice, safe, reliable car for my kids. It is my mom car, so I don't mind spending the extra money for a safe, reliable car. I don't want to have the chance of breaking down at all. It's not something I want to do with children. Manager at Mazda called me today and said that they will not be taking the car back. Other than keeping the car, my only option is to buy another car from them, sell my car back to them, trade my car and whatever, and they'll try to give me the best price for it, which we all know is going to be way under what I just paid 2 months ago. And on top of
okay, yeah, one, I'm thinking definitely someone else owned it, had problems, took it back, took it into the shop. The people couldn't fix it or couldn't replicate the problem, so they gave it back to the dealership, and then the dealership swapped it out. The dealership probably does not want to take a loss on the car, even though that they know it's a bad car, so they're trying to pawn it off on someone. Presumably, there's something to do with the fact that she's a woman, and they think she won't notice or won't be able to do anything about it. But the dealership is being really shady in this situation. I would probably contact a lawyer at this point. There's a thing called lemon laws, and I wonder if someone in here has talked anything anything about that. Yeah, lemon law, get a lawyer. Basically, dealerships cannot sell you a car that doesn't work under the pretense that it does work. And if they do, they have to refund you the full amount or give you a brand new equivalent car. She's being screwed over and mistreated both by Mazda because they made a bad car and by the dealership who just decided that they can sell bad cars that break down and they don't have to take any responsibility for it.
That I would lose out on all the money that I've already spent on it. He's trying to assure me that the car is going to run perfectly fine when I get it back next week, but I'm not really sure I believe that, considering that the car's had so many issues and I just got it back from service 24 hours before it had to go back in service for breaking down. Mazda's TikTok account has reached out to me, but they haven't done anything yet, so I'm not really sure what's supposed to come out of that. Also, I like to ask people when I talk to them on the phone to text me all of the information so that not only can I actually remember and read it again so I can understand it, but I can also let people know, like let my boyfriend know and whoever know. So when he first called me and was going over the whole like, they won't take my car back and my only option is to buy another car and blah blah blah, I asked him to text me all the info and he said yeah, and then he didn't text me, but he ended up calling me again later. So I asked him again to text me all the information.
He didn't do it
and
again.
I said, like, can you just text me all the information so I can pass it to others? And he said, pass it to who? Like,
Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing is shady, potentially illegal, and he's trying to make sure there's no paper trail so he doesn't get in trouble. Again, lemon laws exist. You cannot sell a car that is broken to a customer claiming that it is not broken, nor can you sell a car that's been used and claim that it is new. She's got a pretty solid case here that they're mistreating her and potentially breaking the law, and they don't want any kind of a paper trail.
It's funny to me, as cars get newer and the technology gets newer, I think they're actually going to get worse. This Mach-E does not have a door handle. This is a door handle, right? You pull on it, the door opens. This has a push button. Door opens. I have one problem with that. It snowed a little bit last night. Probably 1 or 2 inches. So my avalanche is here outside, right? So the Mach-E would have a push button somewhere around here. You're going to have to find the push button, right? Instead of just pulling the door open, right? Wow, that actually worked. So the push button would be somewhere around there. I guess if you own an EV, you should just park it in a garage. If you don't have a garage...
That's a great example of something being over-engineered. There is no benefit to it being a button that I have to push and then the car opens. What if my car is having an electrical issue? What if my power's been out for a while and for some reason it doesn't work? There are so many more things that could go wrong here. If my car is broken down, I can still get in it. I open the door because it's a manual handle, opens the door, I put it in neutral, and I can get it like onto a tow truck or something like that to get it to a dealership to be fixed. This car, if the battery dies, like you can't even get in it. What benefit does having a button that you have to push for a door to electronically open have? There are just so many more things that can go wrong here. You could have an electrical issue. I don't know, a rock hits that spot and it cracks and you just can't open your door anymore. What does this add to cars that was missing?
Don't own an EV. Because this is a push. That latch has to disengage. So what happens when it's iced over? You're not going to be able to just pull the door open, right? It's not going to be a simple process like that. This is a grab handle, so this is only going to work after the door has unlatched. If that mechanism gets frozen in there, you can't tug it open. There's no mechanical release.
If it gets damaged and stops working, then you just can't get in your car. That's crazy. There was no reason to have this. This does not fix a single issue that car people were having.
Open that hint. Like, this is not going to get mechanically released from the outside like this is, right? You pull this unlatch button, this button is undoing that latch in there. Just wild to me.
This introduces so many potential problems that might happen. The more weird things and gimmicks like that you add, the more possibility there is that if one of them breaks, then the whole car just stops working. Remember how Tesla had an issue where it would force software updates periodically and people were just unable to use their car for like 45 minutes to an hour while the software updated? There were just so many gimmicks like that that made the experience actively worse. It doesn't solve anything for the software to update and me to be stuck not able to use my car.
My car's in the shop. Brand new car, okay? Just bought it 2 months ago. GMC.
2 months in the shop.
Yukon Denali. Love it. Almost $100,000 vehicle. Why is it in the shop 2 months later? Service the leveling system? I don't even know what that is. So they give me this big old truck.
$100,000 car.
So they'll have my car for like 2 to 3 days, which is annoying because I'm used to having a third row vehicle. I kind of need a third row vehicle for all these kids. Oh well. Like, how is it that we have all of this newer fandangled stuff and it's crap? We are paying so much more for things to get horrible quality. And I love my car, but it shouldn't be in the shop 2 months after I bought it, brand new.
I wholeheartedly agree. $100,000 dropped on a car, and then 2 months later, you have to drop however many thousand more to get it repaired. There are so many things wrong here. The first thing is you paid $100,000 for a car. If you're super rich and you're worth, millions of dollars, okay, fine, pay $100,000 for a car, whatever. But if you're not, don't pay $100,000 for a car. I mean, that is an absurd amount. That is more than a down payment on a house. New cars are basically just a scam. You're being overpromised and underdelivered. They say these are all these new great features and safety features and these gizmos and gadgets that'll make the cars better, and they're actively worse. They break more often, they're more expensive, and then they cost more to fix. You are being screwed from every angle by paying for new cars.
Here's something I hate about my Tesla. I had to pull over. I just got this car. It only has 700 miles. It just completely stopped working for 30 minutes and I was stranded. It took 30 minutes to turn back on and it's just been giving me alerts and saying that it needs service. Tesla offered to tow it back to the service station 3 hours away and they're offering me a loaner. But this is a brand new car. I literally picked this up last Monday. I just can't even believe that this is happening. Disclaimer, I love Tesla and I've been waiting forever for my Tesla. But this is just really disappointing. I hope they can fix it.
Well, your first mistake was buying a Tesla. I get Teslas are cool and you're happy to see it, but one, I hate the huge touchscreens they have. I want physical buttons. And two, was it really worth it? Now you have a Tesla that's breaking down and it's a huge hassle to fix. Whereas if you had just bought a car that's maybe 5 or 10 years old, you would have spent probably half or a third of the money and you would have gotten a better, more reliable car. This is your sign not to buy a brand new Jeep, no matter how pretty they look. Yeah, exactly. This is the second one we've had about a Jeep that's breaking down and has to be towed somewhere. Jeeps are just not good or reliable cars, man. And also after that advertisement thing, I would never buy a Jeep anyway. I simply do not trust the company not to start forcing ads on the infotainment system at some point.
I just spent $50,000 on a car and the fuel tank won't fill up with gas. So here's the story. I went to go fill it up with gas because they didn't fill it up with gas for me. Gas tank would not take gas. I went to 2 different gas stations and the fuel pump would keep stopping, automatically stopping, and I couldn't put any gas in it and it's practically on empty. I don't even have a quarter tank in. So I'm at the dealership. I told one of the guys about the problem. He's like, oh, my wife has that same car and she has the same issue. And I'm like, excuse me? I am not going to be dealing with putting the pump at the exact specific angle in order to fill up this car for the rest of my ownership of it. No thank you. Is it possible to return a car? What are my options here? I'm leaning on you guys because I truly have no idea what to do.
Probably the car is not technically broken here. I'm sure it's some dumb specific safety feature where you have to flip a latch and do a specific angle and do this and that so that you can safely fill it up with gas. But cars for forever have been being filled up with gas with almost none of them bursting into flames over it. This is what I talked about earlier, where it's wild to have safety features that you can't turn off when they're going awry and causing you as a consumer grief. And so people in the comments are empathizing with her, immediately knew it was a Land Rover. Jeep Cherokees have the same problem. So this must be some safety feature that nobody's really thought out particularly well. My 2021 Ram 1500 won't fill up unless I turn the nozzle upside down. The only way it works for my trunk unless I continually click the handle. It's a Land Rover, just deal with the 6 months you've got with it. That is true. I have heard bad things about Land Rovers in general.
New cars suck. Glass headlights, plastic headlights. Flimsy plastic, stiff. Fake vent number 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a single fake vent on the Celica. What even is this button? I can't believe this is actually your parking brake. And this is what you use to shift the car? Real e-brake and a manual transmission. No screens either, and it's very driver focused. Andrew, what's your favorite thing about your car? The fact that it'll gap yours. You know what? You do have me there. All of this plastic is disgusting. You can actually see my turbo. It's also great that you can still see 30-year-old Toyotas on the road today. Will that happen with a BMW made Toyota though? I don't know.
So they charge you more money for a car that has worse and cheaper parts, especially plastic. Man, if I'm dropping however much that is, $80,000 or $100,000 on a fancy sports car, I don't want plastic on it. But they're actively charging you more and you get less. I know I sound like a boomer when I say it, but old cars run really well. Not talking really old cars, but mid 2000s to 2015 or so. I drive a 2013 Volkswagen and I have for the last 6 or 7 years, and I've only once had an issue with it. It cost about $200 to fix, and that's it. I haven't had to put any other maintenance money into that car.
This shit is why I hate new cars. I go to reverse. Warning, 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 shift to park because there's a pole in front of me because they parked as close to the pole as possible. Look what it does when I go to put it in reverse. It automatically parks itself. Reverse. Let off the park. It parks itself. How? I can't move the car because it's parking itself because of a light pole. Because of a sensor. This is stupid.
And now he's stuck there. Again, he's soft locked just like the other people were. It's like a gone rogue safety feature that for some reason you have no possibility of turning off. Yeah, I want my car to let me know when there's something behind it. I don't want the car to decide that it can take over and do whatever it wants when I'm the one that's driving it. And who knows how he got it out of there? Probably he had to put it in neutral and then push it. When you get a new car because you're scared your 15-year-old car will break down, but your new car breaks down on day 5 instead. And would you look at that? It's a Hyundai. My dad always told me not to buy brand new cars. I think this is why. Yeah, exactly. If you buy a used car that's been well looked after, then you know that it's already been tried by someone. If you buy a new car, it may or may not work. And we've seen a lot today that don't work. But if you buy a used one that's, 3 to 5 years old, you know for those 3 to 5 years that someone has used it and it's run well. It's at least worked during that time. And again, it is half the price. You do not need to be buying brand new cars. I guarantee you that you can find just as reliable, potentially more reliable ones that are just a couple of years old for way, way cheaper.
Why is it that basically every new car has a bigger and bigger touchscreen? That sucks. Here's a hint.
They are all so
making them
bad.
for you. These days, it's actually a lot cheaper for automakers to put in a touchscreen that controls almost everything than it is to put in physical buttons and knobs. It takes a lot of time and money to engineer buttons, knobs, and switches. Doing all that via code and software is much cheaper, faster, and significantly simplifies the manufacturing process.
So they're going to be cheaper,
One
right?
screen that controls everything really is the cheapest way to build out an interior. But it's marketed to us as tech-forward and advanced, when in reality, it's really just a sneaky way of cost-cutting. Capitalism pops off again, ladies and gentlemen. Most cars now have touchscreens because they help increase margins, drive profits, and improve marketability. Not because it has good value for you, the customer.
And thankfully, some car manufacturers are actually turning away from using touchscreens because customers hate it so much. But again, this is all about squeezing the dollar. That's why the Toyota had plastic headlights and fake vents to make it look good without actually being functional. Same thing with the touchscreens. They look pretty, but they barely work, and they're only so that the car manufacturers can save a buck. And it would be one thing if they were passing those savings on to you. Maybe the car's cheaper and it's got a touchscreen, and so you, the consumer, are like, all right, I'll suffer through a bad touchscreen because the car's more affordable. But they're charging more for it, pretending like it's some luxury that I have to tap through 7 menus in order to turn down my AC.
Watch what happens when I try to start it. Same thing.
Full accessory power active? My 2025 Ford Explorer was towed back to the dealership with 3,000 miles. Ford has no clue what's wrong with it after almost 2 weeks. They said it's running great and there's nothing wrong, but video proof. Anyone have any bright ideas?
Full accessory power active. Okay, now watch. I'm gonna turn it off again. Because there is actually a way to get it to start. Would you like to see how?
I don't even know what that warning means.
It was so cute, like a month ago. Okay, we're gonna auto start it. And she kicks on.
So you can remote start
right?
it.
Start.
But you can't start it with the
She stays
button.
on. Cool, cool, cool. Love that. Fantastic. You can hear the engine. Okay.
Wild. And this is another thing where I'm sure it's some safety feature somewhere buried deep in the car that's like, oh, you can't start it for yada, yada, yada. And it's like, just let me start my car. And if it's not a safety feature that's gone wrong, then it's some other part of this new technology that they keep packing into cars. Because you know if that car was a Ford from 10 years ago, this would not be happening. So new cars cost too much, give you too little, and really the only thing you're getting is screwed over by the manufacturer because they're trying to squeeze you at every end by increasing the prices and lowering the quality and what they're actually getting you. So please, once again, do not buy new cars. Simply, they are not worth it. Thanks for watching.